Welcome to the House of Cush, where the evolved hustlers come to learn more about astrology, root work, conjure, tarot, and culture. Now, today, y'all, we're going to be getting into the Cush Almanac for Thursday, July the 2nd, 2026. And per usual, I do have a little collective reading for y'all towards the end, so hang tight. Now, if you're new here, welcome. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. And if you're an OG, you know I love you so. Thank y'all. I appreciate you. Now, today's astrology is asking you to become more objective than emotional. The reason being is because the Aquarius Moon encourages innovation, systems thinking, and emotional detachment. While Mercury retrograde in Cancer continues to uncover unfinished conversations, things like overlooked details and outdated strategies. So then here comes Jupiter in Leo. Now, this is beginning to amplify more visibility as well as confidence. But today's skies are reminding us all that things like confidence must be backed by preparation. Okay? Now let's get into the dominant atmosphere of today, which is shaped by things like future planning and intelligent collaborations. Also, strategic experimentation, right? There's a time, there's a season for things. Get into your planetary days and hours. We'll get into what Thursday stands for and how we can best tap into that a little later. But we also want to tap into disruptive innovation. Now, disruptive innovation is something that may be jarring and not necessarily with the status quo or respectability politics. May look, results may vary. But it's almost like you have to create that stance in order for you to be able to benefit from this energy. My bad, y'all. I had to take a sip of tea. But yo, so we do have objective thinking as well. Being able to see the space outside of yourself, right? Seeing outside of how, you could see how others might feel. You've done, earlier this month we were talking about data analysis and whatnot. So you've done your necessary due diligence, like who, what, when, where, why. And you've also leaned more into who you are, as we've shifted through the different houses with that Jupiter and Cancer energy that we just came out of, right? So today's question is, are you solving today's problem or designing tomorrow's solution? Okay. Now, the moon in Aquarius, it is pulling attention away from emotional reactions and towards pattern systems and long-term possibilities. Now, today's moon, it favors things like innovation, technology, obviously networking, collaborations, unconventional ideas, like your weird girl or weird guy career is calling your name right now, okay? Lean into what feels weird, and that is where you're going to come out successfully on the other side during these transits. It's also good to be strategically detached. You can't be fluff and tough about every single thing. You do have to realize where you got to kind of let it flow and see where it goes. Now, there are some spaces where you are future planning because Saturn also sits in Aries as well. Now, all of this, it's going to be good for people who want to do brainstorming and masterminding. Like if you are trying to figure out how you can get into those interesting spaces and careers and how you can do old things a new way, right? It's good for that. Business development is on the up and up right now. You want to get into automating repetitive tasks today. and also AI implementation as well as workflow optimization. I myself have gone into the process of looking into just how you guys can get in touch with me and making that process easier, and how can I automate most of that process as a singular, business owner, as someone who's steadily creating, in the way through that systems and like automation, right? Now, workflow optimization again in AI. I will scream this to the hills fall off. Like, it is what it is. I think things should be not in a sense of like regulated, but in a sense of making sure people are doing it the right way, because it's a system of them. Kind of like, if you think about it, they're always looking for something. Toes off topic, but they always looking and hunting for the next best thing that they can like colonize or exploit. And I don't mean to lean too far off with this, but if you look at AI in that way, like, what the fuck? So it's water consumption. And then, maybe this leans into culture talk, which we haven't done in quite a bit. But like water consumption and the use of like Mother Earth's resources, how they came for gold and, land and herbs and spices. But it's a tale as old as time, right? When you look at it from an objective standpoint, it's a tale as old as fucking time, bro. In all regions. So this AI shit is no different, right? So I said that all to say, it's everywhere, and we've spoke about it, and now it's like, how can you use this to your advantage? Now, being a busy, like I said, a busy business owner, a mother, someone who needs that kind of like assistance without having to do too much with outsourcing. Of course, there's still areas and artisans and craftsmanships and ways that you are not going to be able to get through AI. There are certain like careers and spaces that are specialty that, and things that are done by hand, the Renaissance, all that shit is going to be top tier. Don't sleep. But it also leads way, and it gives the person on the other side who may not be able to hire a marketer, who may not be able to, put into words what they see or what they feel. So they go in and they say, this is my idea. Can you help me bring this to life in a way that is successful for me on my personal business or creative level? Anyway, now you're doing that. So I think like Prometheus, how they brought fire and, shit, I'm a makeup girly myself. And I speak in terms of like feeling like, oh my God, it's too bad, it's too evil, and I'm just like, I don't know. Prometheus sits in a very interesting spot in my birth chart, as well as right now we are sitting in some very interesting energy, which we're going to talk about. But Aquarius overall is asking you to become the observer instead of asking, why is this happening, right? As I went all off the deep end about AI, but facts, right? We got to think about culture because it does shape our marketing and our creative like things, right? Politics, all that, it plays a part. We might not be wanting to deal with it, but it does play a part. But anyway, yeah, so to run that back, instead of asking why is this happening, we're going to ask ourselves what system created this outcome. Okay, so shadow expressions of the day can be overthinking, rebellion without purpose, a rebel without a cause. Are you a rebel without a cause? Abandoning proven methods too quickly, and things like emotional distance, right? You do have to somewhat be able to relate to what you're doing. That's why I say you gotta love it. You gotta love what it is that you were hustling and doing, and then it doesn't become so monotonous, so weird and inauthentic. Now, founders, your next breakthrough comes from improving your system, not increasing your workload, all right? So not no new stuff. And it's so crazy, y'all, because I'm the same way. I have my notes. I have all these different little notebooks that I plan on turning into grimoires for y'all. But I got shit everywhere, right? And sometimes I go back and I'm looking as doing my reflection or whatever. I'm like, hold on. So you got to get into it. You got to get into it. When I say get into it, I mean go review some of your notes and like your notebooks and your idea books, and see where you can improve your system. Review your stuff, see where you can make it easier for yourself as well as your clients and customers. Overall. Now, Mercury retrograde in Cancer. Today's Mercury energy, it's not just about communication, it's about memory, right? Mercury retrograde in Cancer is asking us a few things. What family belief about money still operates your business? We hitting it from a personal space as well, because a lot of us, our personal lives do bleed over into our professional creative lives. It often even fuels it or gives it purpose. Now, also, what emotional habit keeps influencing financial decisions? Where are you pulling that from? Where are you imbalanced in that way, right? And balance too, right? What client pattern continues to show up? So if you're a business owner, you are doing, you're the entrepreneur, you're looking at it, you're like, dang, what keeps happening? Why do I keep incurring this particular type of person? Or what outcome am I getting that I don't really like or that I do like? Okay, and how's that showing up? What lesson keeps repeating? Ooh, top dog really should have been my number one, my numero uno, because you do, with the retrograde energy, you do have to slow down and you do have to take into account and see what's going on and what you keep having to relearn. Sometimes I just heard you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Now, this is going to be an excellent time for you guys to be reviewing your client journeys, updating your onboarding systems, rewriting brand messaging, okay, reconnecting with previous customers, documenting processes, okay. You're also going to be improving your customer experience, what I say. Now, the smartest businesses today, they aren't going to be growing faster. These businesses are becoming easier to operate. Think of it like scaling, even on a small space. Even think of it just like, okay, if you want to think about, I saw this TikTok that says I never knew I couldn't imagine my life anymore without a house manager. If you're a stay-at-home mom, you essentially become like the house manager. You become the nanny, you become the maid, you become, you know what I'm saying? But there is a system here set in place, and then you're delegating activities. Now, how you choose to do that, whether it be business or personally, is definitely up to you. But I choose to look at it from all scopes, from personal experience. But yeah, delegating, operating, managing. And I feel like once you kind of get that part, you'll be like that lady in that TikTok. How did I ever live without this? Period. How did I ever do anything different? Even, I'd say it all that to really say, even if you just kind of aligning your life on a day-to-day or spiritual basis, it does require some bit of management, right now. Not going with the flow all the way. I feel like maybe I want to characterize going with the flow versus flow state. Those two things can be vastly different. Going with the flow, then flow state. Now, market energy for day traders. Today's Aquarius Moon supports logical execution, data-driven decisions, and reducing emotional bias. Now, this strong learner aspects will include, we got the moon opposing Jupiter is going to be very interesting for y'all. Moon trines Mars. And the moon is also trining Uranus. So these things are working together. It could be love, hate, it could be go along and get along. But there is a sense, because we got moon conjuncting Pluto. Now, also, you got the moon sextile Neptune, which is giving you that secondhand blessing, that secondhand love that you need to kind of balance this extra energy out. So all of this, speaking of balancing it out, it creates a fantastic mix of sudden volatility institutional repositioning, innovative market themes, emotional extremes, and unexpected reversals. Now, today's edge, day traders, it's going to belong to the ones of you who will remain adaptable, okay? You're going to be trusting technical confirmation and managing risk aggressively. You also going to avoid chasing momentum. Now, hidden market lesson for y'all. Today's biggest opportunities may look uncomfortable at first. Remember that weird thing I told y'all to lean into? That uncomfortable pressure makes diamonds vibe? That's going to apply across the board. Now, CEOs and founders, this is your forecast. The astrology today, it's going to favor leaders willing to redesign outdated structures. Like, questions you could potentially ask yourself today, y'all, is going to be, what task still depends entirely on me? This is what makes you a creative or an artisan or a specialty or master at your craft. There are certain things that can only be done by you. That's why don't let that AI shit really just take you there. Because there is a skill, there is something about what you do that no one else can do. Now, where is friction costing revenue? All right. Which customer problem could be solved through automation? Am I building a business people depend on or one people just remember? Now, Aquarius rewards ecosystems, partnerships, scalable infrastructure, technology, and collaborative leadership. This is about building communities, not just audiences, okay? You are building a community. Now, today's collective mood is intellectually stimulated but emotionally detached. And this is having people crave things like originality, competence, freedom, transparency, as well as practical innovation. Like, how does this help me in my day-to-day life? Does it make my day easier? Does it make my process easier? Many may feel overstimulated mentally, impatient with outdated systems, emotionally disconnected, and eager for change. Today's challenge isn't emotional overwhelm, it's information overload. Now, leaders, your audience doesn't need more content. Again, they need more clarity. We've been leaning into that. And this is a repeated theme. So, spiritual forecast, Evolve Hustlers, we're here. The lesson behind today is discernment is a spiritual gift. Not every opportunity deserves your attention. And not every invitation deserves your energy. You don't have to go. I also was picking up the other day, like, just because you can do something don't mean you should do something. I've been on that. And Aquarius Moon teaches us that freedom isn't doing everything. Freedom is choosing well. Now, ask yourself, what deserves my attention? What deserves delegation? And what deserves deletion? Point blank. Now, today's energy is top tier, again, with the AI. See how it works for you in the most ethical way that you can get that shit done. Because evolution is period. Now, analytics, you could still be taking time to look and see what's going on with your core audience and how your stuff is performing and what platforms, and spaces you can use. Also, automation, making it easy, working smarter, not harder. You're going to be refining your customer experience. Like, how do you want them to receive you digitally, physically, and even when you send your products and your offerings or your art off, right? Now, collaborative meetings are good for today if y'all want to, like, have a little think tank. And refining hold on, y'all. My bad. Data review and long-term forecasting. So, do look into the future today. Look into maybe top 6 months, right? What are your goals over the next 6 months? And then work backwards, like break it down so you get to that point. Avoid reacting emotionally today. And we're not going to be chasing trends blindly. We're still on that. We're not abandoning things that work. We're not arguing to prove no points. And making decisions from FOMO. No impulsive investments today, okay? And don't be doom scrolling and information overloading. Touch some grass. Take your break, and go outside and breathe in a little air on your balcony or your park or wherever you're doing this thing. Take a little air, okay? Now, the moon and lunar aspects, again, we got the Aquarius Moon, and we do have a buildup of community leadership, which this moon does favor. And objectivity as well as innovation is sitting high on the list. Now, a couple of key aspects y'all can know is there's an opposition with Jupiter today, so watch for over promising and overextending in that very Leo, doing too much type of way when they're in their shadow. The thing is, bigger isn't always better. You need to measure before you expand. Then we got the trine for Mars, right? This is excellent for decisive action, discipline execution, and tackling difficult projects. So pull all this stuff out, write it down, leave some shit on the cutting room floor though. And it may be beneficial later on. You never know. Trining Uranus. So this supports innovation, technological breakthroughs, fresh ideas, and creative problem solving. Uranus and Gemini. Clock it. Sextile Neptune is excellent for blending imagination with practical vision. There's also a conjunction with Pluto, and this is where deep emotional truths surface, and it's powerful for eliminating limiting beliefs, restructuring leadership, and making transformational decisions. Now, we talk about planetary days and hours quite often, and today's no different. Now, let's get into the Thursday energy, which is backed by Jupiter, and Jupiter governs education, abundance, leadership, opportunity, things like publishing, prosperity, and expansion. With Jupiter newly in Leo, today's Jupiter energy is supporting your marketing, your public speaking, your premium branding, okay? Visibility, mentorship, all right? And the most useful planetary hours, okay, you already know Jupiter's coming in at the top of the list. Now, you're going to use these times for launches, networking, you may go live, you may do some teaching. During that, you are going to be attracting clients and you're going to be doing some prosperity work. Now, Mercury hours come in second, which are going to be good for your editing and reviewing, all right? And maybe even some planning and strategy. And we are definitely focusing on contracts during that hour. Now, lastly, we've got the sun hours. Now, content creation during those times, okay? Maybe doing some interviews if you're into that. Branding is good for these hours as well. Work on your creative bursts during those hours. Leadership energy. The moon is waning gibbous, so this is a phase that's favoring things like simplification, releasing inefficiency, and evaluating results. This is also about strengthening your existing foundations, right? Refining. Less about expansion, more about precision. Now, pushing when you should push, when you should go gadget. During your sun hours, your Jupiter hours, and moon trining Mars. Now, speaking of which, you can check these out, put it to your local time zone so you can really follow it accurately because it does change. I'm speaking in general, so make sure that you attune it to your area. I like astro-seek.com. Now, the best time for you to sell and focus on things like coaching, consulting, premium offers, and relationship-based sales and educational products is none other than today. It's a Jupiter day, so tap in. Now, cleansing. We know the waning moon supports things like uncrossing work, spiritual baths, office cleansing, deleting outdated files, removing business clutter today, and cutting unnecessary subscriptions. Ooh, y'all know how that one go. I used to know this app that used to like let you know if you connected. It was like a budgeting app. I can't even remember the name of it, but it used to be like, oh, you haven't used this or you don't log in as much. It'll tell you don't use it, and it'll let you know like maybe you need to cancel that. I can't remember the name of it though, but shout out to that budgeting app. Now, best time for you to rest is after periods of deep concentration. Now, Aquarius energy can exhaust the mind before the body notices. So you got to stay on the up and up. Now, confrontation is using curiosity instead of accusation today. We're going to lead with questions, not assumptions. Today's manifestations are going to be strongest for your technological success and your intellectual breakthroughs, all right? You may be even manifesting influential partnerships that are going to lead you on this path. Business scalability is good right now and community growth. Now, we do got some botanical allies. If you into the woo, you like to do a little work. And could just be a spiritual bath that we were just talking about, or like a floor wash where you mop your floor. And even your business can be cleansed and, built for attracting things. Feng shui is a thing, just period. Think of it as spiritual feng shui. Anyway, blue vervain, which is excellent for releasing mental rigidity, easing tension, and supporting clear strategic thinking. We got peppermint, and this is good for refreshing your mind, improving concentration, and helping cut through mental stagnation during Mercury retrograde. We got elderberry, which is cool for wisdom, resilience, and long-term protection while navigating periods of rapid change. All right. Then we got licorice root, one of my faves for traditional root work. Is typical for strengthening persuasive influence, commanding respect, and reinforcing leadership. Juniper berry is very powerful. It's a purifier. So we got to think about clearing stagnant energy, your home, your office, again, your business environments, while encouraging fresh momentum. All right, those are some herbs. If you can get your hand on them or you already got them in your arsenal, you can utilize that for today's energy. Now, let's get into these power moves. A little homework, We're going to automate one repetitive business task today, okay? You can review your customer journey from beginning to end. Review your customer journey from beginning to end. Y'all know how it'd be like, how you can view the website or the link from your customer side, like how they order, how they process anything, how y'all speak, how they get to you via email, from social media, any outdated stuff. Simplify a process that has become unnecessarily complicated, okay? We're also going to reconnect with someone whose relationship still has value. Okay, we're going to remove one distraction from your daily workflow. Get it out. Think in decades instead of days. Shit, I gave y'all 6 months. I try not to overwhelm you, because I know how it can get, especially when you got a lot of shit you want to do. But when it comes to like really what the dream is, like think of it in that way. But execution, break it down. Results may vary, okay? Now, let systems carry what willpower no longer should. You're getting to a point. Also, protect your attention like your most valuable investment. Currency, attention goes. Money flows where attention goes. Mindful about that. Okay. Now, astrologically, today is reminding us that progress doesn't always come from working harder. Now, sometimes it comes from just seeing things differently. The Aquarius Moon helps you zoom out. Mercury retrograde is helping you improve what you've overlooked. And Jupiter and Leo, it's reminding you that your influence grows strongest when your foundation is stable. Today's success belongs to those willing to redesign before they expand. You're building smarter. And you're leading boldly. Okay? And you need to let your systems become your greatest source of freedom. Period. I'm telling y'all, It's discourse going on online right now about how people like, oh my God, those people that put up those flyers, da 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 da. And so people are coming back now like, shit, whereas I couldn't afford to pay somebody to do a fucking $100, $500 flyer marketing promo. Now I can just load it up in whatever AI that I use, and it will help me out with that. That's like a way to cut costs, but also be professional and relatable, right? And staying on trend, because everybody's not, they don't have an eye for graphic design. Everybody don't have an eye for that. You know, textures and colors and fonts and placement, like, it's a thing. You have to have an eye for it. But anyway, they were speaking on the fact that the people were just like, shit, this is giving access. Don't be salty, you know? And I feel like in instances like that, how do you recoup as an artisan, as a crafter, as, you know, an artist, a person who's leading the way with that, right? You want to get in where you fit in. I think maybe you should think about teaching, putting out some educational information. Shit. This is how you do this from a righteous space. This is how you do this from a knowledgeable space. Instead of criticizing them on the damn flyers, teach them how to do it. And then make you a little coin on the back end. That's how you do that. Now, that's my gem for today. And it's really not a prideful thing. It's a lot of people, even, boy, I'm shuffling the cards so we can do the collective reading. Even the people who talk about, like, root work and conjuring, like, I mean, if you want to go into, that's my area of specialty. If you want to just say witchcraft, whatever you do, right? Manifestation, whatever. You come across things like sage and, like, white sage and Florida water. I'm going to speak on Florida water in particular because people are saying that Florida water is something that came about later on, okay? It's not like originally what our ancestors may have used during that time. A lot of our ancestors didn't even have access to that type of stuff. Now, let's get into the history of root work and conjure and things like the migration and people leaving the South and how that has a very huge impact on, you know, things growing and industrialization and it becoming more of a mail order thing. Like, these are the things you learn when you read the books, the history books about it. Like, when they went up north, they couldn't forage like they used to, so that gave way to capitalization, like much things do. When you industrialize it, you go bigger. You know, you got to produce more, you got to produce it more widely. And anyway, long story short, that's how Florida was, like, one of the many things that was also integrated during that time. And now it's a staple, okay? While there are other ways to get to the end of that goal, it smells fucking amazing, okay? And just like when I do those series and I be telling y'all about how y'all can enchant your day-to-day products, I feel the same way about Florida water. Look at the ingredients and what can you utilize for your benefit. You can make your own. I've made my own too, but I mean, innovation, it evolved. It evolved. At one point, a root worker was literally working with what was right in their garden or their front yard. They wasn't, if it wasn't in their area, they wasn't using it too much, you know. And things evolved and changed as it became more accessible. People who don't understand that right now, I'm a bit concerned, you know. But never sleep on astrology and how it affects, like, the market and how people receive things and shop and do. Yeah. So those are the things. Let's see if we can open these roads up real quick. I'm gonna ring my bell to clear the energy out. All right, Spirit, thank you so much for opening the roads for me on behalf of the tribe. Thank you so much for covering and protecting us as we go on this journey. Thank you so much for the gift. You know, I don't abuse it. All right. I appreciate it. I honor it. I love it. Now, what guidance do the elevated ancestors have for us today? And take care. Take care. Let's get into it. Y'all. Okay, overall we got 4 of baskets in the upright. What's the pairs, please? Scorpio energy with ancestors here. Present. 911 on the timestamp. 10 of knives in reverse came out at the same time. Ooh, near future. Wait, collective. The truth. Ace of knives. Clarity. The truth. Near future. The free man. And I'm gonna tell everybody. Why am I hearing that song in my head? Somebody might hear that song. That song could serve as a confirmation. Now, let's see. There's an offer here. I'm also hearing there's a bit of missing the point. Like, somebody is missing the point. The truth will set you free, but first it'll piss you off. With that Ace of Knives and the free man. The truth is setting you free. This is an end of the stagnation that you've been going through. And there's one last thing that you may need to be focused on right now, right? We got one last point. And getting into it. What's the 4 of baskets? What's the offer? A strong one. A strong offer. Tell me about that strength card, Leo energy. Somebody's presenting a strong offer here. And maybe this is to stop you. Nah, this is just poor decision making in the past. Maybe they're hoping that you'll make a poor decision that'll throw you off. Maybe you'll be irresponsible, and this will delay your progress. 2 of sticks in the reverse. Yeah, definitely an air of like you acting out of survival mode is not in the coming days, is not gonna be in your best flex. Yeah. Now, initially, their plans. Sun of coins in the upright. Plans, goals, strategy, and we've been speaking on that. If you could see this card, he's like pointing at the zodiac wheel, which is, we got Scorpio energy. So let's get into it. Somebody's plans. Tell me about the ancestors. Somebody's ancestors have stopped communicating or delivering a message. There's an Emperor in reverse. Could be an Aries masculine. Somebody's ancestors, their feminine ancestor, has stopped talking to them. That mentor energy. This could have been a mother figure. This person could have been really loving and caring towards this individual, this Scorpio mother. She's an ancestor. Somebody decided to stop teaching, stop informing. Hell, or maybe they just didn't know any better. Mother of Knives in reverse. There's a Father of Baskets in reverse. So these are your family members and these people. There are contracts here, right? Son of Coins. There are contracts that you need to take care of. And we talk about that family business. Y'all remember that? So I could see us gliding between those 2 worlds today. So take it where it resonates, right? Don't apply, let it fly. But you might want to take heed to this one. But you've got some ancestral healing here. And now there's this mother figure. There seems to be someone who's caught up here. After maybe feeling manipulated. Someone could be playing with somebody's emotions. It's that masculine energy. Son of Baskets in reverse. Tell me more about it. It's caused a bit of a tower. That's what they're saying. And they need you to just see this. See this for what it is. See it for what it is, please. Rose-colored glasses off, okay? Now, I'm also picking up, like, if you, okay, so a lot of us, like, in terms of going, like, no contact and moving on, for some people, that's a process, right? And also the process of, like, deconstructing and getting out of a vibe. And I feel like with the rose colored glasses, how they say, like, once you put those hoes on, yeah, you can't take them off, but there's this time and a space for everything. And what I have learned in this field of working with, like, spirits, sometimes if you see a certain something, you're not always supposed to divulge. So when I see that big house too, I've also seen, like, you recognizing the play and moving accordingly. But don't allow yourself to get caught up, because there is a 10 of knives in reverse. So let's talk about that. Your loyalty, how you move, and it's something that is not advantageous for you. I'm gonna do a double check though. Yeah, there's a deep wound here, deep sacrifice. It's a family. 10 of baskets. They're talking to you about the things that you hold near and dear presently. There could be some baneful magic. There's a Gemini energy here with the Magician or Black Hermit in reverse. And this baneful magic has been revealed to you. 2 of Knives in reverse, maybe within the past few weeks. Few being 2, of course. And maybe you've been in a space where you've been having a hard time accepting that you can't change these people's mind. It's a losing battle. 7 of Sticks in reverse. It's a losing battle, and it keeps you restless. It keeps you feeling like, oh, you can't plan, you can't do, you just stuck in a space. And now we've got this 5 of Sticks. Let's see what this is about. White roses could be significant for someone too. So now it's like, okay, there's a lot. There's a lot of differences here. You do have to continue to be brave. Dare I say common ground. We're not going along to get along. There's some clarity that, you can't change. Like, I feel like you're trying to change. There's a point of security here. 9 of coins. Somebody feels secure. They're looking for financial security. This could be an Empress in reverse, an Aries feminine, part of your family. This person is a woman without a plan. They're also losing friends. They're losing third party energy here. Someone's no longer emotionally like wanting to be around with this person. They don't want to deal with them. An Aquarius can be significant with the grandchildren in reverse, the star card. But someone is doing something out of nobility because they know maybe this is just protocol. This is just how things are done. So this is why this person is somewhat protected. Loyalty. Loyalty. Doing what's right. Bishop C.H. Mason. Taurus energy here. Tell me about the Ace of Knives, the clarity, the truth. Virgo. A Virgo feminine. We are going Virgo for a lot of significant placements. I may have mentioned this yesterday. Inspired some action. Oh, this money that you're going to make, like, it's not you realizing and just sitting in shit, because when you sit in shit you start to smell. It's more of a realization that you can't change these people, and it's like, oh, okay, whatever. You're getting to that point. Everybody ain't able, everybody ain't strong enough, so results may vary. But truthfully speaking, like, your energy is sitting in this very calm, very taken care of, very demure, very grounded, or at least that's where you should be, exhibiting some form of like feminine Virgo energy, right? Where you are grounded, and you're inspired to take action independently. And here's where you get to the Ace of Coins, because it's good wherever you are. The grass is always greener. All right, so Six of Baskets in the upright. Maybe you came around to more so make peace with things, and find some harmony, because what good is it if everybody's just angry and mad and fighting, and you know clear it up and make peace with it and move on. Yeah, Three of Knives in reverse. Let me see. But that's where I'm seeing it. Eucalyptus healing. Somebody may be focusing on eucalyptus. You may need this over the next 3 weeks. There seems to have been a lot of betrayals and whatnot, but it's like you are saying goodbye after a period of just disrespectful shit from a Father of Sticks in reverse, a fire sign masculine. This person, there was a bully energy here. They caused a lot of bad decisions. Again, we speaking on relationships and partnerships that maybe where you haven't moved on emotionally, just they won't recover. Yeah, and this is what's, again, inspiring you, your actions, picking your passion back up for life after going through this. This maybe is what inspired this plan. There's some help coming, deal. 10 of Sticks. There's a lift. There's a journey, but there's a lift. It could be, and I call it a journey because y'all know when I see sticks and wands, I be thinking of you actively having to participate. I mean, this is the way it's going to get done the quickest, they're saying, with the 8 of Sticks in the upright. And they need you to get out of your head. Stop thinking so negative about things that have gone on. There's some form of truth that could be being, played with here. Somebody could be lying about a contract ending, or why a partnership or relationship ending. And again, somebody being worried about their financial landscape towards feminine here. Somebody could be pursuing some form of justice, or maybe this is you. Take it where it resonates. Let's get into this free man. This is all the ancestors. So 9 of Baskets in reverse, and then we got the Railroad Bill, which is the Chariot. Taking some form of leap of faith, you're not being satisfied with what's being presented to you. So you're deciding to kind of get a move on it, get going. Yeah, and doing things, again, independently, Son of Sticks. Now, if you follow my collective, again, this space that we're going on, even in a technological sense, y'all heard what I was saying, if you're an independent business owner, you could be a mom, or, a single mom, and you're out here doing all of this on your own, and maybe you were looking for some form of camaraderie or community from these people from your past, and it's just like, no. No. You want to do the right thing. And in this timeline, it's going to be you recognizing and moving forward. You can still be respectful with that, because respect needs to be there. But no, you ain't got to do all that. But you sitting in this Son of Sticks, right? And whatever you finna do, they asking you to not be talking too much with the Son of Knives to whoever this Mother of Sticks in reverse is. This fire sign, feminine energy. This person is your family. This is someone who has a vested. They have a vested interest, is what I was trying to get out. And it's a Sagittarius. In keeping a relationship aligned with you. This person is not. There's someone who didn't get a chance to build an opportunity with the Father of Knives in reverse. And this has brewed something in your favor, though. Somebody's karma. Yeah. Karma. This is ending. It's ended in someone being abusing some form of assistance here. Substances. So their slip is showing, and this is going to prove to be a success for you. Confirmation. Leo's going to build that. So yeah, you've got some things. 7 of Coins. You got some things that you know maybe you need to review, cycles that you need to end in order for you to get these coins. Like, these are lessons, right? When I see the 7 of Coins and I look at how she looking back, it's like, I'm learning some lessons from the, the things that I've gone through. Because that pig is there. Yeah, heartbreak, things that haven't healed, plans that didn't work out with the Daughter of Coins, losing, giving too much, needing to walk away, Eight of Baskets here. We're leaning more into the ancestors today. I'm going to wrap it up and see what's going on with the guides. Because I feel like that's more like personal. It touches on a little bit of business, but it's really like your inside job work. That energy that we were sitting in. And it's still what you need to be actively doing. Like, now you need to get that step in. Eight of Baskets. You see, or Eight of Cups. Traditional deck. Get the stepping in my Martin voice. Okay? Overall, there's a Queen of Cups in reverse. Who's this? It's being controlled. Somebody's upset about some sort of control here. This could be a Scorpio energy here. Because I got Death, which is Scorpio. So Death in reverse. This person's upset. Some money's being controlled by money. Being controlled by promises. Yeah, that's the truth. Ace of Swords. So no, the more you know, the more you grow. Past. There's no need to fight. Five of Wands in reverse. No fighting. It'll all work out. The Hierophant topped out again. It'll all work out. This masculine King of Pentacles in reverse came out. This person seems to be quite unstable. The plans haven't worked out. Like if you were wondering about, they don't have any more power to do anything. Weak as fuck. Strength in reverse. Weak as fuck because somebody has some addictions. Yeah, they have some obsessions and addictions that are traumatizing and tearing ass up. The Devil card here, Capricorn energy. All right, present. Yeah, so now the ultimate goal is for you to be able to be self-sufficient, and what you put into the harvest grows. Queen of Pentacles in the upright. But you are trapped in your mind about this Empress status here and being seen and revered as someone who is successful, who is well. This is what's delaying your progress. You want to be seen a certain way. You're being asked to focus on being patient and insightful. You will receive the help that you need. Six of Pentacles in the upright. It's going to be long-term, like good help. Not like McDonald's. You're getting steak and potatoes or whatever you like that's fulfilling and hearty. Collectively, there's the Star card. We've got Aquarius energy here. You maybe have not realized that there was a tower going on with an Aquarius, and this person could be trying to build some form of relationship with you, or this person seems to not have been quite giving of Ten of Pentacles in the upright, some form of wealth or prosperity. There's a certain responsibility here. Somebody needs to be responsible in making decisions or judgments, Libra, because there's something that's going to be happening quickly. Somebody could be moving quickly due to some form of theft or deception, and they've decided to just move away mentally. They may be moved away from a situation mentally or an idea, but lately there's been some form of delay here due to a relationship, and it seems like there was something illegal going on. Justice in reverse. This person could have lied to some court official because they weren't getting their way, and this information is being exposed in the next 3 to 4 weeks. And Ace of Cups is 1 month, okay? And this is what's going to heal your life and your situation. Yeah, you could have been in some form of debt or heavy responsibility and could have been stuck. Hangman here, but you've been building, and this King of Swords in reverse was trying to manipulate you into not taking this action. Yeah, this person wanted you to walk away. What you doing working? Yeah, Three of Pentacles. It was just long money. It wasn't quick money. It was long money. It was a long-term plan. And that's the type of work you need to be looking into. And this is what's going to save you with the, what is this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of Pentacles in reverse. Period. That's how I like to see it anyway. Okay, near future. Gemini season. The Magician. There's a magician here. You could have manifested or could be manifesting, and there's somebody who's upset about it. This person's upset because you won with using your mind. You ain't battling Five of Wands in reverse. You using your your wherewithal, your education, your knowledge, the things you built in the past, your experience. And they mad about it, babes. Yeah, because they didn't think of this shit first. They got a lot of internal issues. There could be a Sagittarius here, and this person they're upset because they don't want to be seen as this immature or unwise person. They don't want this to be their identity, but so this is what drives this person. And this King of Wands in reverse, there's an Aries masculine here. He's being very weird. The Fool here. He's taking a leap of faith. He's doing something. Maybe this person's taking a leap of faith with an Emperor in reverse. And this is all part of his master plan. But there's a Queen of Swords in the upright that has unfortunately decided to collaborate with a group. And this person's worried about getting some form of desire here. They're running out of resources. A Virgo is running out of resources, a masculine energy here. This person, and this is a continued cycle. They're unaligned. Two of Cups in reverse. There's a betrayal here. He's coming up 10 weeks. Somebody is going to be exposing. It's going to be an exposure of an illusion that someone lied. This is a toxic family member, and they're going to be completely blindsided. Yeah, their goals aren't popping off, so they don't have any regrets. They think they're going to get another offer, and the offers are unlimited here, but this person is going to get hurt while taking this action. Ooh, they own it. I'm at 56. I'm finna have to cut these short, y'all. Whoa. So take it where it resonates. Anything else? I got, 4 minutes? I try to keep it at an hour. This is tea, but they needed you to know. Anything else? Playlist. Somebody isn't playing. They've forgotten. Stillness. Pluto in Aquarius. There's an Aquarius here. On the surface, someone's appearing calm, but they're losing. They've forgotten. They're forgetting some form of work. When they rest, they don't intend to show you. What? Someone knows that you need to realize someone's not confident. Their intentions are bad. Aquarius, they're going to be inspired to provide something for you, but you can't trust them. Taurus, their lack of kindness maybe is a blessing. Things are changing for you, and maybe it hasn't been all the way revealed to you, and you're losing a little bit of courage. You're thinking you're not going to get what you want out of this deal, but this is because it hasn't evolved. There's some form of protection that's needed first, and you're impatient about it, about your life. But you're being hidden for a reason. Things are being disguised for a reason. You do too soon, you'll lose out. You'll lose if we tell you this. Communicating reverse. Ooh, and this is helping you. Defense here. This is helping you to freedom. The Underground Railroad. Damn. Yeah, maybe you don't believe. They talking. Okay. Maybe you don't believe, but your energy, it's low. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to close that road out. If this resonates for y'all in any way, and you would like some more guidance and clarity, be it business or personal, go ahead and click the link in my bio and get you a reading today, hun, so we can see about this. I appreciate y'all for hanging out with me today. Don't forget again, follow, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. And the Cush Almanac for July is up now for you guys to download or get a physical copy sent to your home. All right, y'all. Have a great day. I appreciate y'all. We'll talk soon. Bye.